We are back together again to herald a new week, looking at how the oil and gas industry had been last week. The days of normalcy in the supply and distribution of petroleum products across the country had been with us for a while now, and that's come to stay. Some Nigerians are not taking it for granted. While they savor this endless season of seamless supply, they have comments. And this package deepens this fact with an expose of the impact across the upstream, midstream, and downstream. On the flip side of that story is the awesome gains of earnings from 2018 accruing to the oil and gas sector. Get ready for more numbers aplenty, even as more gains happen to the black gold globally, but caution is being advocated. In its discerning characteristic, the NNPC has espoused the reason for these and other gains to be operational quality assurance, which the National Oil Company pledges to sustain. Mr. Hussaini Ali, GM GHSEQ, will be telling us how. What the abbreviation means is also in the details. My name is Akin Agbijile. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
Let me commend the NNPC for expanding its exploration outreach into the inland basins with a view to improving the nation's oil and gas reserves, drive oil and gas production, and spin off socio-economic activities across the country.
No panic to buy fuel for black market. NNPC go bring fuel for all motorists.
NNPC say them get fuel jabrata for ground. Saboteur. All of una wey dey tiff with fuel and petroleum station where they hot, smuggle and divert our fuel go neighboring country. Plus people where they build small tank and sell fuel past our government price of 145 naira per liter. Stop am o. Because why? Now big offense now. Now jail straight away. NNPC say our government no increase fuel price. Now still 145 naira per liter. So therefore, no buy black market, no do panic buying. Enough fuel there we go round. Nigerians, if you see any petrol station where they sell fuel past our government price of 145 naira per liter, kia report to the nearest security agency when near you or the Department of Petroleum Resources. Na Ndu Ohamadu, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, NNPC, signed this message.
These are the highlights. Nigerians applaud gains recorded in oil and gas sector. 3.72 trillion naira in the nation's coffers, courtesy of royalties and petroleum tax in 2018. NNPC has secured ISO certification across the SBUs. It's looking to sustain these via a strategy that has been deployed. What strategy? Wait for the details.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, has called on investors to utilize the over $48 billion investment opportunities available in the upcoming capital projects within Nigeria's oil and gas industry. Dr. Baru made this call while speaking at a panel session on the topic, Insights on Future Exploration Hotspots, Opportunities for Africa's Oil and Gas Industry, under the sub-theme, The New Frontier for Africa's Oil and Gas, at the 2019 International Petroleum Week Conference in London. Reeling out the numerous potentials of Africa's oil and gas industry, the NNPC GMD said the continent's energy outlook was looking positive amid difficult operating and economic headwinds. He explained that over 41 billion barrels of oil and 319 trillion cubic feet of gas were yet to be discovered in sub-Saharan Africa alone, while between 2008 and 2017, exploratory success in the sub-region was at least 45%. According to him, there has been a surge in the capital expenditure capex across Africa's oil and gas sector, with close to $194 billion earmarked to be spent between 2018 and 2025 on 93 upcoming oil and gas fields in Africa. He observed that 23.8% of capex in Africa would be spent in Mozambique, 11.3% in Angola, while about 29.2% will be spent in Tanzania, Senegal, Mauritania, Uganda, Egypt, Algeria, and Kenya combined. Baru informed that with over 14 oil-producing countries, Africa currently accounts for 7.5%, that is 126.5 billion barrels of crude oil, and 7.1%, that is 488 trillion cubic feet of gas of global proven oil and gas reserves, respectively. He maintained that in terms of production, the continent accounted for 8.7%, that is 8.1 million barrels per day of global oil production, and 6.1%, that is 21.8 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day of global gas production, even as it consumed 4 million barrels of oil per day and 13.7 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day of gas, equivalent to 4.1% and 3.9% of global oil and consumption, respectively. Shedding more light on investment opportunities in Algeria, Dr. Barrow observed that the NNPC's Frontier Exploration Service was currently drilling the Kolmani River 2 well, where desktop estimates reveal that about 400 billion cubic feet of gas is expected to be encountered. He stressed that several new frontiers for exploration opportunities abound in Algeria, even as offshore discoveries in the country have mostly been limited to between 1,000 to 1,500 meters of water deep. He stated that unless issues related to legal and regulatory uncertainties, lack of infrastructure, skilled manpower shortage, transparency and accountability are addressed amongst key stakeholders, the continent's oil and gas industry may not achieve its full potentials. Organized annually by the London-based Energy Institute, the International Petroleum Week is a global oil and gas platform where executives and other energy professionals discuss the big issues affecting the sector.
A cross-section of Nigerians has applauded President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NPC) for ensuring steady supply and distribution of petroleum products across the country. Speaking with Oil and Gas Forum crew, a motorist, Mr. Samuel Adejo, stated that Nigerians and motorists had never had it this good in terms of seamless supply of white products.
He has done very, very well, and I travel a lot, and there's no part of this country I don't go because of this my job, and there's no way we cannot find fuel, and he has done very, very well.
Others who spoke commended the federal government for the gains recorded in the upstream, midstream and downstream sector of the petroleum industry.
Actually, there are no words enough to describe, the GND of the NNPC. In fact, he has been doing a lot of things all over the country, and they are also visible. But this one is something else, I think that this is, an indication that we have gotten a round peg in a round hole.
Under President Muhammadu Buhari, we've seen where there is fuel, you make a choice of where to buy fuel. You make shakara for them.
No long queue again because of the availability of fuel this time around. We enjoy it now.
With McKenty coming on board, there is stability in the rate of fuel supply. That is a good plus. And two, drivers or users, motor owners can go into filling stations and buy fuel, get out of the filling station without hazards, unlike when there were a lot of queues.
Some of the gains recorded in the upstream sector of the oil and gas industry include achieving the national average daily crude oil production of 2.06 million barrels in 2018, which represents an increase of 10.75% above the 2017 average of 1.86 million barrels per day. The Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, recorded a production growth of 52% compared to 2017. The average production from operated assets of NPDC grew from an average of 108,000 barrels per day in 2017 to 165,000 barrels per day in 2018. This is the strongest production growth within the Nigerian oil industry in recent times. In the midstream, national average daily gas production stood at 7.90 billion standard cubic feet in 2018. This represents an increase of 3% above 2017 average daily gas production of 7.67 billion standard cubic feet. Of the 7.90 billion standard cubic feet per day produced in 2018, an average of 3.32 billion standard cubic feet per day, which is 42%, was supplied to the export market, with 2.5 billion standard cubic feet per day representing 32% for reinjection and fuel gas. 1.3 billion standard cubic feet per day representing 16% was supplied to the domestic market, and about 783 million standard cubic feet per day, representing 10%, was flared. In the downstream sector, the NNPC imported a total of 15,874,734.82 metric tons of premium metal spirit (PMS) through the direct sale, direct purchase (DSDP) arrangement. This represents 62% increase over the 2017 supplies of 9,807,264.61 metric tons. Group Health, Safety, Environment and Quality GHSEQ of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) would ensure quality assurance in all the corporation's operations, the division's general manager, Mr. Hussaini Ali, has said. He said in line with global best practices, the NNPC has secured ISO certification for most of the strategic business units, adding that the ISO certification is a statement to all stakeholders, employees and business community that NNPC is operating within a set of framework in order to achieve its company's objectives.
Right now, the certification program, we have started it, and we have gone for the ISO certification program, which we have at least did over 100 and something candidates from various SBUs and the corporate headquarters.
Mr. Ali stated that the corporation has deployed the health, safety and environment management system corporate-wide with a view to achieving standardization in workplace safety.
The standardization of PTW corporate-wide is also been implemented, and a lot of staff from SBUs and CSUs are being trained on how to use these PTW, permit to work systems. So with that, it makes everybody to be on the same page, and whatever is happening in one of the SBUs, you will also see it in the other SBUs. And that is what Group HSE is all about, to ensure safe operating environment in NNPC.
Nigeria earned 3.72 trillion naira from royalties and petroleum profit tax (PPT) in the oil and gas sector in 2018, according to data obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The Apex Bank, in its economic report for the fourth quarter of 2018, stated that the amount the country earned from royalties and PPT in 2018 represented an improvement of 106.7% compared to 1.8 trillion naira recorded in 2017. Analysis of the report showed that the amount earned from royalties and PPT from the petroleum industry in 2018 represented 40.9% of the 2018 budget of 9.1 trillion naira and 42.6% of the 8.73 trillion naira budget proposals for 2019. Further analysis showed that royalties and PPT revenue represented 153.2%, 61.2%, and 43.2% of capital, recurrent, and total allocation in the 2018 budget, respectively, while in the 2019 budget proposals, PPT and royalties represented 168.8%, 54.8%, and 42.1% of capital, recurrent, and total allocations, respectively. Royalties and PPT, according to the report, accounted for 67.22% of total gross oil revenue of 5.54 trillion naira recorded in 2018.
As a beneficiary of the funds that NNPC disbursed as part of this competition, I can definitely say that it has been a very positive contributed to my life. I think that I was able to afford university. I was able to pay for books because I was a part of this competition, and it inspired me to continue to work hard in my chosen endeavor.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
Hello and welcome to the feedback segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta. Pipeline vandalism is the deliberate act of damaging petroleum pipeline with the aim of stealing crude oil and associated petroleum products. These unlawful acts have been sabotaging the efforts of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, to ensure adequate supply and distribution of petroleum products. Today, we are seeking the views of Nigerians on the effect of pipeline vandalism on the nation's economy and the environment.
The resources that the government is supposed to generate due to the pipe vandalism, it cuts short the output of productions, which affects the income of the economy. Then about the community, the oil spill, it affects the environment. It's not good to health. And in case of any fire outbreak, it also causes damage to the community.
I just advise anybody to stay away from this pipeline issue so that let all these products, because if you look at Suleja now trucking in Suleja, instead of loading inside the Suleja, we used to truck from Lagos down to Suleja here.
A situation whereby the pipelines we are vandalized, the oil that the government are supposed to realize will be short, so it will affect in that effect. And then the environment at large, the environment where the oil vandalism take place, the lands can be affected. It can affect through agricultural, like, farming and other things. And then water too, if in a case where water is closed, it can have effect, can lead to bad water. Yes.
Pipeline vandalism is not even advisable in our country. It damages a lot of things, family, that they cannot even be able to continue to feed their family.
So if not for this vandalism, I believe the accident on our major road would have been reduced drastically. Then government would have made or saved a lot of money, because for every bridging you go, government pay compensation from PEF, which is a Petroleum Equalization Fund, which it would have been a huge save for governments.
All that resources is for all of us, not all the fuel sellers, not the fuel dealers, not the major marketers. It's for us, and by the time we save it, I think it will help to large extent that maybe we use the resources we are getting to divert to another area that there will be employment.
It is a reality that is happening around us because it is affecting us, affecting our economy, affecting our business on a daily basis. Vandalism is a satanic act, let me put it in that way, that have been militating against the economic development of our nation, Nigeria. And it has also been affecting lives and property.
For the spirit of progress and for the spirit of prosperity, I would advise them to change. Because this country is ours. It does not belong to anybody. If this country progress, it's for our own benefit. And if the country go in chaos, it's otherwise. So we advise them to turn a new leaf and let us be our brother's keeper to make things go well, to make things work for Nigeria as a whole, and for NNPC also to be a company that will be always declaring profits at all times.
This is Suleja Depot, one of the 21 depots of the NNPC spread across the country for effective supply and distribution of petroleum products. Sadly, due to pipeline vandalism, it now relies only on bridging or trucking to receive petroleum products at a great economic cost to the NNPC. This is one of the consequences of pipeline vandalism. This is what we have for you today on this segment. Please stay with us as the rest of the program continues.
Hello! Glad to have you join us on yet another informative segment of the program. My name is Abigail Ojobo. Did you know that the Renewable Energy Division of the NNPC was created with the sole aim of industrializing agriculture in Nigeria through the commercial production of biofuels? Did you know that the NNPC, through the Renewable Energy Division, has initiated the automotive biofuel program for the production of fuel ethanol and biodiesel? Did you also know that in 2018, the Group Managing Director, Dr. Mekanti Baru, signed MOUs with different states of the country for the exploitation of various renewable energy sources? Did you know that the corporation had carried out 7 bankable feasibility studies in integrated oil palm biodiesel projects and integrated sugarcane feeds? Did you know that the execution of this biofuel prospects will complement Nigeria's efforts in meeting the growing energy demand and increase diversification of NNPC's business portfolio? Now you know. Please stay tuned for the rest of the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices fell as U.S.-China trade tensions persisted. The Chinese economy showed signs of slowing, and record U.S. production undermined the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC-led output curbs. Brent crude was down 37 cents or 0.6% at $66.02 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude was down 13 cents or 0.2% at $56.81. Factory activity in China, the world's biggest oil importer, shrank for a third month in February as export orders fell at the fastest pace since the financial crisis a decade ago. Brent crude oil futures is forecast to average $66.44 per barrel in 2019, slightly below the $67.32 projected in January. U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer also dampened expectations of a swift resolution to the trade dispute between China and the United States after hopes had been raised by reports of progress on key sticking points. Crude prices have also been dragged down by surging U.S. oil production, rising more than 2 million barrels per day in the past years to a record 12.1 million barrels per day. Supply cuts by OPEC and its allies such as Russia, a group known as OPEC Plus, have offered some support since January. That reduction helped to drive down U.S. commercial crude inventories by 8.6 million barrels to 445.87 million barrels in the week to February 22. And that's it on this segment of the program. My name is Solomon Yopave.
Don't quote anybody out of context. And like I said earlier, we are not saying money is stolen. No money is stolen. We're only trying to clarify the processes of expenditure in line with the various extant laws.
That's the package for the new week. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of NNPC, have yourself a rewarding and profitable week. You got a date to keep next week.